Okay, so I'm going to try to explain this in a way that makes this a lot easier. I think this is definitely going to help you guys. At the top here, I wrote the formulas again. You might want to take a screenshot of that. And so if you look at, I added a little bit in black here underneath where it says outer minus inner to kind of parallel how when you're doing washers, it's really the same as discs. It's just that you're doing two discs. So really a washer is like a disc minus another disc. And so when we initially were doing, the disc method, we were just doing top minus bottom or right minus left. And that's all a washer is. So when we're finding the outer or the inner, really, both of them actually, you're just going to do top minus bottom or right minus left, depending on which way the line is drawn in. So it's almost like you're doing top minus bottom squared minus another top minus bottom squared. That's the key with these. Okay, so moving forward, we're always gonna do top minus bottom or right minus left when we're trying to calculate capital R and lowercase r. So let's first look at number 3. Okay, I drew these in already. So if we're trying to find capital R, we're gonna draw in, again, you always draw them perpendicular to that axis of rotation. So I drew in that purple one, and now we're gonna look at the very top and say, okay, what function am I touching at the top? Or what function am I on at the top? And so if we look, we're on square root of x plus 1 minus, okay, what are we subtracting? We're subtracting whatever function we're touching at the bottom. So what am I touching at the bottom? Y equals -1. So I'm just subtracting -1, right? You're basically just using, I'm going to highlight here, you're really just using these function values, either square root of x plus 1, x squared plus 1, or -1. Those are the different pieces you're using when you do top minus bottom or right minus left. So if we simplify this, this just ends up being square root of x plus 2, which we had written down. So lowercase r, again, top minus bottom. The top is touching the x squared plus 1 minus, what is the bottom touching, or what is the bottom on? That's -1. So we're subtracting -1, and again, we're going to get x squared plus 2. So that's now my capital R and lowercase r. It all comes from doing top minus bottom. If you go back and look at number 2, which we did already, it was really the same thing. When we were doing the purple one, which is capital R, the top was at 2x plus 2, and the bottom was at 0. So that's why we didn't really have anything there. Because if you look, the bottom of that capital R is touching the line y equals 0. So we're subtracting 0. Same with that lowercase r. Top is on x squared plus 2. Bottom is at 0. So we're doing top minus bottom. If we try it over here, number 5, I drew this one in real quick. Notice how this, though, is a disc, right? Because there's no gap in between the dashed line and the shaded region. It's the same thing. You're still doing top minus bottom. You're just doing it once because there's only one way to draw in that perpendicular line. So this time when we do top minus bottom, the top is touching x squared minus 2 minus the bottom, which is at -2, right? That purple line is at y equals -2, so we're just subtracting -2. So once you simplify that, then you'll square it, but this ends up being just x squared, which we could evaluate then. So even though it's a disc, you're still doing top minus bottom squared. If this were a washer, you would just do another top minus bottom squared and subtract them. Okay, so let's look at some that are horizontal now. So number 6, we did this one earlier as well. So if I draw, again, you're drawing something perpendicular to that axis of rotation, and you're doing the one that's more on the right first. Okay, so that's like the green one here. But this time you're doing you're doing right minus left. Okay, because look at the way your line is drawn in, right? Look at that purple line and the green line. You have a right side and a left side. So when I go to do my capital R, that green one, the right is touching the function square root of y plus 3 minus, what is the green line touching on the left? The line 1. Okay, the function which is x equals 1. So again, look at what we're using. I'm highlighting in yellow here. You're using all these pieces. You're using either square root of y plus 3, y over 2 plus 3, or 1 when you do your right minus left. Okay, same thing with lowercase r. Okay, look at the right side. Okay, the right side is touching my straight line. That's y over 2 plus 3 minus, what's the left side of my purple line touching? 1. Okay, so if we simplify both of these, y over 2 plus 2 and square root of y plus 2. And if you look underneath, that's exactly what we had from before. Okay, so I know we were asking, we were a little bit confused, when should we do right minus left? When do we start with a number? Do we start with a function? You can literally do it the same every single time. You're just doing the right function minus the left function, or you're doing the top function minus the bottom function. If we go back and do number 4, this is the last one now. All right, I drew in the purple one there. That's going to be the capital R. Okay, the capital R is going to be the one that goes to the outer function, either the one more on the right or the one like more, basically further away. So here we're going to go right side of that purple one is touching that sideways parabola, negative y squared plus 2, minus, what's the left side of that purple line? Okay, this is the line x equals negative 2. So we're subtracting negative 2. Okay, again, these are the pieces we're using when we do right minus left. If we simplify that, that's going to be negative y squared plus 4. Okay, lowercase r, right minus left again. The right side is now touching the straight line, which is just y, minus, what's on the left? Negative 2. So this ends up being y plus 2. If you check the answer key for number 4, you should see that those are the two functions they're used. Now you would just end up squaring those and subtracting them. So once you calculate the outer minus inner in any one of these problems, take a look. Once you calculate your outer by doing top minus bottom or doing right minus left, you're going to square them, okay, and you'll subtract them. And kind of the same thing with the discs. Once you figure out, top minus bottom, you're going to square them. All right, hope that helped. We will definitely go over more tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day.